Alright, I've been watching some videos online and I've been seeing how they've been cooling their computers. And it occurred to me that my computer kind of really runs at a lower temperature and I haven't really did much to it. I changed one setting and added one thing that's not even really that big to it. Now, I have been running some tests on it just to see for myself what it would do before I made this video. And I realized that it didn't even make a big of a jump up as all the uh, temperatures have on a lot of people's video. Like, I was watching one guy's video and he had his computer running below 0 Celsius, and I was kind of amazed that that you could actually get something that cold without liquid. And really, if I could come in to having whatever cooler he's got, then of course I would want it. But for when he puts his computer under stress, it jumps up way higher than mine does. And so here you go. Here's my core temp. Now the CPU cool only reads it has one core. It is a dual core processor, but it only reads it as one core, and that temp 1 right there is the CPU temp, and then temp 2 is my motherboard, temp 1, and then temp 3 is my motherboard, and then all the others are like my hard drive and then my graphics card. There's like 5 hard drives in there, and there's an array of temperatures in there, and for them to be running this cool, it's amazing to me because I've seen everybody else's and they're way high up. I got a NVIDIA 88GS clocked up to 654 for the core, 761 for the memory, and 1635 for the shader, and I can play just about all the games on high, and then some games very high. It's PCI Express 2.0, and then for my processor it's an Opteon 1212, and it runs at about 2000 megahertz, 2 gigahertz. And the only thing that I've really changed is my core voltage, and that's the one of the settings that I've changed. I did add a Thermaltake Big Typhoon to it. Now I did have to make some modification for it to fit a AM2 Plus motherboard, but other than just putting the clip on there, I haven't really did much of anything. Now, the CPU burn-in that I have, it really lags the hell out of, your whole computer. And I'll run it here for 5 minutes, both of them, since one of them only seems to use one processor on my system, since it is a true multitasking processor. And now, while that's running, I can come over here and I can show you the insides. Now, there's your Big Typhoon Pro. Now, I know it does seem noisy with it down here, but it's only noisy when I take the side panel off, and as soon as I put it back on, it just about gets quiet. What's really making all the noise is this 3000 RPM, 125 CFM, I think. I can't remember. It's been so long since I purchased it. I put that on top of the Big Typhoon, and there is the shitty ass 79 CFM fan. and then that's cooling my graphics card. And then this fan right here, I think it was a 65 CFM fan at 4,500 RPMs, but the fan controller I have is kind of all screwed up because one of the jumpers were jumped for, to the ground for so long. So it kind of really, got screwed up, which doesn't let me run this one at full. I have broken into my power supply and stole the fan controller from in there and put it on the fan controller I bought, because it wouldn't seem to rev it up high enough, and it would seem just to run it really, really, really slow and make it just about useless. And yeah, I know there's kind of a lot of cables in here, and with everything even being jam-packed in there, it still stays pretty cold. I'll put the side of the case back on so it can run for about a minute with the case on. And with it being around 20, sometimes I've seen it as low as 18, but it doesn't stay there for long. So I've seen it from 18 to 25 on idle, and the most I've ever seen it, even when I've been playing a game for over an hour, is 30 Celsius. And that's not very much of an increase. So I would think that the two things that I've really did are a big drastic improvement to the system, because it lets it only vary 10 degrees Celsius. It's still running at 100. I did it for 5 minutes just to get somewhat of a good idea of how much it would increase. And right now it's only at 28. And that's only 6 degrees increase from 22, and that's still pretty cold for being at 100 for this long. And the only major thing that I've ever really did is turn the core voltage way down. Like when I first got it, it was brand new, and it wanted to run at 1.7, I think, and I just turned it down to about 8.8 something, and let it try and boot up there, and Windows errored out because it was too low. And then I went 0.85 and it errored out again. I went 0.92 and it came up, but it wasn't stable. So I went 0.95, it came up, and it was stable, but not stable to the point where I liked it. It would error out every once in a while that the temps would get a little bit too high. Too high for the BIOS settings, which I've configured for the fans to turn on at a certain temperature. And see, there you go. Just about as soon as it's done, it drops back down. Then it kind of varies ever so little. But it normally runs between 18 and 30 Celsius. No matter how long I play a game, no matter how long I do anything. All because of that 0.976 in the voltage, which keeps it completely stable, and it runs perfect. I mean, it's cold and it runs perfect. Is that not what you want out of a computer?